cameras are already frozen. Hello everybody. Welcome back to the Shuffle Squad live streams. We're going to be playing some Dragapult today. We have some updates. We have Briar now. This list does need some changes though. Looked and it didn't look like the list was in the video description yet. So you can watch me sort of update my Pultzatu list live here quick. And then I will post... I'll put the list in... I'll respond on my Twitter post advertising the stream, and then I'll leave a link to that whenever people ask here. How's everyone doing today? Baltimore Regionals just finished. Some big happenings there. My testing group managed to go ahead and take one top 8 spot with our wild cornerstone Noivern list. But Henry Chow's crazy Gardevoir list did manage to take it down in the end. Very cool list. Very well deserved. I haven't watched the finals yet, and I haven't seen Henry play too much yet personally, but from what I hear, he is a phenomenal player. So, much deserved win from what I've heard. Long time coming. I mean, just back-to-back NAIC top 8, and then obviously, I mean, Worlds making it not quite back-to-back. I don't know if Henry went to Worlds, though. I don't know how much he played last season. But either way, I mean, top 8ing NAIC, and then a couple months later, winning a regional just proves you're, one of the best. Counter catchers. In Shrouded Fable format, I was playing Radiant Charizard just because of how much aggro decks are around. I mean, Raging Bolt's still going to be really big, but with Charizard and Dragapult both being huge this format, definitely feels like Radiant Alakazam is the way to go. Gardevoir a little bit more popular again now, of course, so we are Radiant Alakazam gaming, which I'm glad, because I hate playing Radiant Charizard in this deck. I miss the Alakazam a lot. The better Lost Vacuum. I liked this Lost Vacuum art better when it first came out, but I don't know. The older one is kind of growing on me again. We're going Prime Catcher. Obviously, there's a lot of A-Spec choices right now. But I like Prime Catcher best in this deck, generally. Maybe as the format develops, I'll switch to different A-Spec, but for now, Prime Catcher feels like is my go-to for starting lists with Pultzatu. So strong. And we don't need to switch, actually, because we're playing the Prime Catcher. And then, missing 2 cards here. Briar, the big new card from Stellar. And then there's only 3 of these, so now I'm still missing 2 cards. I didn't add another boss back in. Should definitely be a boss. Sure, get rid of Solo. What else am I missing, guys? Oh, there's no Rotom. Beautiful. Rotom V. Here we come. Oh, I have a fancy one now. I must have got that in ladder rewards at some point. So I don't remember having that. And I'm actually going to try with, one of the 30 damage, like the Heat Tackle Droopy. I know the attack's not called Heat Tackle, but it's, Charizard equivalent. It's the Heat Tackle Droopy. Just to see if that comes up. In last format, it was definitely better to play the 3 to 7 HP one because Drago is best deck. I think Drago is still going to be popular enough to maybe warrant warrant still playing all 70 HP, but the 30 damage one can definitely be like super relevant sometimes. So I'd like to try it to start the format off. And so yeah, it didn't look like this list was in the description yet. So I'm gonna make sure I have this linkable for anybody who wants to see it. Why don't you use Sparkling Crystal as your spec? With Xatu, you just don't need it at all. You just it's easy enough to set up a Dragapult with Sparkling Crystal. With the Pidgeot build, you have to play, because you don't have that extra energy acceleration, then you need to play the Sparkling Crystal, but just not necessary. You know, Sparkling Crystal is a cool card, but if you don't have to play it, you'd obviously, you know, Prime Catcher, Unfair Stamp, stuff like that's going to make a bigger impact on the game. First thing this deck, because like Xatu accelerates to the bench, right? So Prime Catcher being a switch out makes it is just as useful as a way to get more energy onto a Dragapult before you attack, since it can let you get the Dragapult on the bench that you accelerate energy to back into the active spot. Alright, and then I'm going to drop the link here. So if anyone wants to look at the list, it is in the replies on that post there. Duskull line in this list. I don't really like Dusk Noir. Maybe if I like test more and decide I want to play Giant Tree. My lighting's a little weird. Let's see if I can brighten it up at all. But yeah, maybe if I switch to that seems better. If I switch to Giant Tree at some point, if that feels good, I can Giant Tree into the Dusk Noir, but for now, I'm feeling like it's too hard to use Dusk Noir at the right times in the Xatu build. Definitely works better with the Pidgeot build. And yeah, I do think that Pult Xatu is much more consistent than Pult Pidge. And you don't have to play Sparkling Crystal as your A-Spec, which is a big pro. But I think that Pult Pidge might still be better. So we'll see how this one holds up. Pult Pidge just has more options. You know, you can do more stuff. You are able to use the Dusknoir when you want to. I think that's what we're going to get for lighting for this moment. You're able to use the Turo more consistently when you want to. Well, the Psychic 3P does 30 damage for 1 energy. It's same logic as Heat Tackle in Charizard, basically. I'm okay with this lighting. I can be blue. That's why we're playing 3 of the 70 HP ones still, just because 70 HP is better. But having the 1 Heat Tackle option in case, you know, we just need to do 30 damage to take a knockout on something would be really nice. Helps against Roaring Moon EX too. I'll try the Xatu build then. Pidgeot has 2 Line Armor Candy and weak to Devos. Yeah, for sure. Pidgeot build has some weaknesses. That's why I've always liked Xatu better. But in this format now that we have like now that we have the Crystal, Pult Pidge might be better. Crystal is a pretty nice consistency boost, but right now I'm trying Pult Xatu. It's a list I've played way more, and it is generally more consistent, I think. We'll see if it holds up in the Stellar Crown format. Can definitely be a little weaker into Charizard because it doesn't have Dusknoir, and Charizard can use Dusknoir to, like, before Dusknoir is printed, just Twilight Masquerade format, my game plan against Charizard would often be to just, you know, never put them in one-shot range, but now they can force the one-shot range with Dusknoir, so. Okay. Poffin, Treepy. And then we'll go for Natu, Manaphy, because we're playing against Greninja. Greninja Dusknoir is interesting. This thing's probably going to attack, so I don't want to put my energy in the line of fire. We'll put the fire on this Dispensary P. Nest Ball. I should have probably checked my Rotom before using this Nest Ball, but it is in there, so never punished. But yeah, I should have tried to check the Rotom off the Poffins, because otherwise there's just not really a point in using the Nest Ball if the Rotom's not there. I was going to grab another Natu, but it didn't seem worth it. Actually, maybe grabbing another Natu would have been fine, because we get Dusclops here. But as long as they don't get Dusclops on Natu and knock out the Dream with the energy, we don't really need another Natu right away. This is the biggest reason that Pult Xatu isn't always better than Pult Pidge, to be honest, is that this is in Dusclops range. Normally you want to use TM Evo turn 1 anyways, but obviously you don't hit that 100% of the time. Let's say most of the time you get it, but we didn't here, so. We do have attack here. This can grab Arven, and then this can grab Pult, so that's probably what we're going to do here. We're just going to go Stone, Star Alchemy, get the Arven. This is a very good start. Our opponent missing attack is huge too. We can take a 2-prize turn here. What do I want to discard? Well, let's Arven first. Get the Candy. And the Evo. Do I want to use this Evo as discard fodder? I need this to go here. Need this to go here. I need to play this and get rid of this for sure. Evo or Stretch, or I guess it could be Psychic over the Stretcher. Evo or Psychic. I think we'll just get rid of the Evo. I'm kind of scared that I will end up needing it at some point, maybe. Yeah, we'll just do the Evo. Grab this. We're taking a pretty big lead here. Should be fine. They can't, even with Dusknoir plus Shinobi Blade, that's only 300, right? So they can't one-shot the Dragapult, really. They need Dusknoir and Dusclops to do it. Phantom Dive. We'll go knock out the nice one to lower our opponent's morale, you know? I always knock out the pretty version. I'm just mean like that, I guess. Okay, so Dusknoir coming down. Just gonna kill the Manaphy. Do they have Candy Greninja DTE? Because if not, I'm just gonna Night Stretcher for that back. I mean, I might just have game next turn. All I need is boss. I don't have an out to boss yet, though. I need to find Lumen. Oh, and I have Prime Catcher, though. That is the ace spec I chose to play, so I probably just Iron Prime Catcher for game next turn if they don't evolve this. Gonna help me get there. Oh, cam froze. Properties, boom, boom. Nice. We're back. Thank you for the heads up. What is this gonna grab? Another Froakie maybe if they don't find another one here. Blood Moon. Okay. I think we just have game, most likely. Well, we don't have it in hand. Pretty high chances of finding either boss or Prime Catcher here. Boss, Prime Catcher, Arven, Ultra Ball, Luminion. You can find just a Xatu or something off, or a Dracloak off this to find more cards. Lumen. That should be game, unless I have Prime Catcher and Boss Prize. Lumen. Yes. Boss. I've got an Energy to Retreat in hand. Yep. Psychic. Boss. And 2 attacks for game. 1, 2, 3, boom. Ninja just kind of isn't good, so not surprised that was a clean victory. Opponent didn't even get Candy Greninja off there. Although I think I heard Greninja did make top 16 at Baltimore, but it's like a 101 in Palkia Dusknoir. Not as its own like dedicated deck. Dusknoir, like obviously Dusknoir is very good. It is these like super Dusknoir focused decks are like I feel like really reliant on winning the game quickly. I don't know. Sometimes they pop Dusknoirs to try to disrupt you. I don't know. I think maybe people just on ladder don't know how to properly use Dusknoir, because I find people just like Dusknoiring against me all the time when they shouldn't be. And then, like, even that Manaphy knockout, right? Like, there's no reason to really do that. They could have just waited to do that until they could actually bench snipe. I guess they just want to take a prize movie, but it's not very good. Because then they just get punished for taking the prize, because, you know, they give the opponent a prize. I won a tournament with Bolt/Noctowl yesterday. Nice, congratulations. Hey, Jackson. Hey, Mox. I'm honestly not a big fan of Bolt with Noctowl yet. I mean, it's definitely good. You know, Noctowl's great. But my gripe, I guess, is that most people are cutting Pokegear for it. So, like, you're playing a deck that wants to attack turn 1 every single game, and you're cutting Pokegears for cards that don't help you find Sada turn 1. I don't know. Seems like you're just, like, making your deck hit turn 1 attack less, right? That's all you're really doing. But if you can manage to fit the Pokegears and the Noctowl, then I'm a little bit more on board. And obviously, like, if you Noctowl is better going first, yeah, but you don't get to choose to go first, right? Like, if your opponent's playing against Bolt, they're going to choose to go second against you. And you're only going to get to choose game 1 50% of the time. Yeah, I'm fixing the camera, but I don't know what's going on with my webcam lately. I had some issues with that last stream too. Maybe I have to get a new webcam. I actually just got a tripod, so maybe I can figure out how to connect my phone and use my phone camera as my webcam. Hey Cyrus, love your articles on the various channels. Thank you so much. Been writing a lot lately. I'm not gonna stop anytime soon. I might write an article soon on just like my process for choosing decks for tournaments, because my team, like my testing group, played Cornerstone, Ogerpon, plus Noivern EX to Baltimore this past weekend, and that was like, you know, a calculated decision based on our like testing process, right? Like the way that we figure out what is good for tournaments. We have like a very, very long, arduous testing process. So I might make a whole article on just like optimizing your testing, looking at the data, analyzing all the math to decide what's actually statistically the best deck for you to play into a tournament. So that's how I typically pick my decks. Your Charizard control article was top notch. Thank you. That took me a while to write, but it was great. I'm glad it worked out. I know a lot of people took some ideas from that for Baltimore and did pretty well too. So, but yeah, that was a grind to write. I was supposed to promote this, but I'm just kind of thinking I'm not going to get attack this turn anyway, so I'm probably just going to go like this, and then just, you know, Evo this turn, but it's not great. Great fan of you, Cyrus. Yours means so much to me. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. I'm glad I could help. cool because I always have deck anxiety. Yeah, honestly, me too sometimes. You know, it's not easy choosing a deck. Okay, I gotta figure out, like, how much... Because I'm gonna evolve this. But I gotta figure it... So, 20, 40, 100, 20, 40, 160. So their cap is 180 on their side, right? And then 200, 220, 240. Okay, yeah, we're good. I can just pop it too. I need... There we go. My mouse was swinging for a second there. So this is actually pretty sketchy then. I don't even know if I want to... I'll bench this still. But I don't know if I want to Evo with these prizes. I might just counter catcher this. And then jet headbutt it for 70. I'm not really that scared of the Blood Moon. And they both have a 4 retreat with no energy on them. So I think I'll just pull this up. Jet headbutt. If I had two Dreepy, if I didn't have 2 Dreepy prize there, and I could just pop into double Dreepy, counter catcher up this or this, and then Evo here, I'd actually feel like I was in a pretty good spot. Obviously, my opponent could just hit the switch card anyways, but still, that's a lot for them to hit. And even if they hit the switch card, like, that's not, you know, enough for them to do a lot that's relevant. With the Iron Hands active, it's gonna be just hard to get energy on it and then get it back into the active, which is the thing I don't want to attack this turn, right? I don't want this to amp either of these guys. Just gonna boss my Xatu. I'm pretty sold on Bolt Pawn, but Valiant Ursaluna feels good right now. Yeah, I mean, I think Bolt Pawn is definitely better. I think, like, Valiant Ursaluna is cool, and in theory has, you know, can do pretty well against stuff, but it's not consistent enough to, like, consistently beat its good matchups anyways. I think it just it is kind of a clunky deck. In my opinion, at least. That's what it seems like. That's what I've heard from friends who've played it as well. Like, my friend Sky De La Cruz, she has, like, quite a few points this season already with Valiant Ursaluna. She played it quite a bit, and she said it was definitely kind of a pile at times. Like, in theory, it can be really good, but its actual, just, like, proven power level is not that high. Because it doesn't have, like, a great engine. Okay, so now we're in an okay spot. We get to knock out the hands. I'm not going to bench this Fez, but I will bench it if they knock me out next turn. We'll just 200 here. I'm kind of more scared of this than this. This is going to be able to do lots of damage anyways, so I think I'll put the 5. Or I could put 3 on here. I think we'll put 3 on here. And 3 on here, and then if I want to knock this out, I can Alakazam it. Just because if I knock this out, and I Ono my opponent, I can disrupt them by making their bench smaller as well at the same time. If they get the area 0. Yeah, I think my webcam is just having some connectivity issues. It's when I, like, desk or something is when it cuts out, so looks like I'm gonna have to get a new one. So hopefully that's fixed for next stream, but until then, I always have to keep resetting it for you guys. It might be fine, unless it doesn't work right now. There we go. Is Miraidon still worth it to craft? Yeah, definitely. Miraidon is still, honestly, with the Area 0 and Mewtwo EX, Raikou is just so scary now. Does so much damage, especially against other Area 0 decks. It's pretty nuts. So far so good this game, I think. You know, we're not in, like, a confident lead, but I mean, doing pretty good. Alright, I'm getting a little punished for my decision to not put damage on here. Not really, though, because I mean, it has a baby charm anyways, but we don't not have a lot going on here. We'll have to hit another Candy Pult next turn. For now, we just Phantom Dive. We'll do 1 here, because I would love to kill that. And then we'll do 5 here, set that up as well. Because right now, if they don't find a switch card to reset this, then this is probably what they're going to attack with next turn anyways. Put an energy on here so it doesn't get trapped, which, I mean, I guess it's fair. What should I stream on Friday, folks? I think I want to stream maybe like Hosui and Zoroark. I've been playing quite a bit of that. I don't know if it's top tier, but it's been a lot of fun with Area 0 now. And it feels like pretty underrated. I think it could actually be like a solid tier 2, tier 3 deck. It is really good at what it does, which is one-shot stuff really quickly. But it might just be kind of a worse Raging Bolt. Although it definitely is better than Raging Bolt when it comes to like mid to late game, like making sure you hit everything. But Bolt is already good. Bolt is already pretty good at that. Like Bolt doesn't really struggle to do that. It doesn't struggle to like hit the mid to late game Sadas very often. But when it does, it loses you the game. Okay, let's just Fez first here. Flip that script. Candy. Okay. Let's evolve this one. I'm gonna Zatu before Recon Directive here, just so I can make a better Recon decision with new information. Okay, Arven. So we should, yeah, we do have it here, as long as I didn't prize double Ultra Ball, which I did not. There it is. I don't even need Arven for it. So let's Ultra Ball away these guys. Get the Dragapult. If I have Vacuum in deck, I win here, right? I don't, though. It looks like my Vacuum is prized. Okay, so that's fine. Oh, wait, I can win with Alakazam, right? Do I have Nest Ball? Yeah. Nice. Still have game. Boom. Rare Candy. Dragapult. Fire Energy. Arven. Nest Ball. Stone. Yeah. You see the writing on the wall. Because I can just move damage from the Mewtwo onto the Miraidon and then knock out Raikou and Miraidon same turn. 2-0 so far. What's a better item, Prime Catcher or Hero's Cape for a modded Charizard EX deck? It sort of depends on the metagame. I think probably Prime Catcher right now. Early format, you typically want to make your deck as consistent as possible, like when there's a new set just dropped. Because a lot of people will be playing like weird lists with weird techs, and they'll slow them down. You know, they'll brick way more often than you. So you just want to be able to punish as often as possible by being consistent. So typically I find early on it's better to be streamlined. But then, like, as the format gets more developed and you have a better idea of what you're going to play against every tournament, then you can, you know, play some text for more specific matchups. But, yeah, generally early format, this is a pretty bad hand. I think we're just going to open that too. Early format, you just want to be streamlined, especially when you don't necessarily know what the metagame is going to look like yet. Like, we don't know what the most popular deck is going to be necessarily. Most likely going to be Charizard, but we could see one regional, and there could be like a ton of Palkia and a ton of Terrapagos. We know that Charizard will probably be the most popular for the first Stellar Crown event, but how do you feel about... I see a lot of Teal Mask at the moment. Yeah, Hero's Cape doesn't, I think, do enough against Teal Mask, though, to be honest, to, like, save you. I think Teal Mask, I mean, most Teal Mask decks are a pretty good matchup for Charizard anyways. Like, you farm Raging Bolt. Drago can be a little bit sketchy, but I think there are better ways to tech for it. Okay, so I'm trying to get all these one in order. How do you feel about Guardy winning Baltimore? It's cool. I mean, Henry Chow, clearly a very good player, built a very cool list. I don't think anyone else could have won the event other than Henry Chow with his crazy secret box list double candy, 3 Bravery Charm. I think his specific list was a good play for the tournament. I think that like if you played like a general, the way that people were playing Gardevoir before, I don't think I had a good chance at winning the tournament. I think Gardevoir was very poorly positioned for Baltimore, but Henry Chow managed to make a list that had a very different, much better matchup spread than what people had been playing with before that, and that is why he managed to win the tournament with it. So, huge shout out to him for managing to make Gardevoir the best deck for the tournament when going into the tournament it seems so poorly positioned. Any upgrade for Dragapult for Stellar Crown deck? So the only new card here, I've changed a few counts in the list, like I'm playing, Radiant Alakazam and stuff like that, where I was playing Radiant Charizard and Shrouded Fable format. But the only new card here is Briar, because Briar's really nice. If you're going to play the Dragapult build, then you can play Briar, you can play Crispin, and you can play Dusknoir, the Stellar Crystal. All of those cards are really good in the new Dragapult and Dragapult Pidgeot. You just can't use them as well with Pult Xatu. The Dragapult Pidgeot Dusknoir Streamline, I mean, I'd say I'm not necessarily talking about deck choice when I talk about playing a streamlined deck. That can be the case too, but I more mean like you're in the list. Don't get too techy, don't get fancy. Just play consistency. Play. I think the Dragapult Pidgeot Dusknoir is definitely a very good deck right now. I think it's a little bit less consistent than Pult Xatu, but I think getting to use Crispin and Crystal and Dusknoir, Briar, consistent. Like, using Briar Dusknoir combo consistently especially is what makes the deck really, really nice right now, and might maybe make it better than Pult Xatu, even though Pult Xatu is generally more consistent. Teal Mask would drop a Charizard in one shot. I can get a Charizard full energy to Charmander survives a turn, but but we don't tech for good matchups, right? Like, the most popular Teal Mask deck is Raging Bolt. You don't need a Hero's Cape to beat Raging Bolt. You'll beat it anyways. It might make the matchup better, maybe. I think if Unfair Stamp would make them is the best ace spec against Teal Mask decks. But just because Hero's Cape can be relevant in that matchup doesn't mean it's necessary, I think that, if you're playing Charizard, you should already be taking a very good matchup into Raging Bolt. Typically, you're going to want to tech for your bad matchups, whereas Raging Bolt's already a very good matchup that you don't really need to tech for to beat, if that makes sense. We'll just go pop in these two. You don't want to play cards that are they might win you a game, but they have to win you a game that you would have lost otherwise, right? Because otherwise you didn't need it to win. You could have just won without it. So you could use that spot on something stronger. Not to say it's never that it's 100% Hero's Cape isn't the right call. That's just sort of the logic that I think you got to approach it with. I was hoping I had my stone here. Definitely should project that. I think we're just going to go for the Evo line here then. Be a little bit of a slower setup, but we can get another, you can get a Dracloak out here. Actually, do I just want to do 70? I could just do 70. Not like my opponent has that much going on here. I think I might be. No, I want to draw cards. I want the Dracloak. Just to see more cards next turn. Boom, boom. I have both Xatu in hand, so I can just grab Dracloak. Boom, fill on the Natu. Would I have done anything differently if I had known the stone was priced? I probably would have just went for an Iono and tried to hit Candy, Dragapult, fire off of the Iono, and then if I don't, I can always just I can always just, pass, or maybe I find Evo, find something else, but Sparkling Crystal isn't better than Catcher. Not in Pult Xatu, because you already have Xatu to get the extra energy into play. In Pidgeot, you don't have Xatu, so you do want the Crystal to get the extra energy. But Pult Xatu has plenty of energy acceleration. Crystal just doesn't make enough of a difference. Not needed. Obviously, Crystal would be good right in this situation, but only because I prized the stone. If I didn't prize the stone, I could have just went for stone for the fire and gotten attacking. Plus, I probably shouldn't have played the Arvin there if I knew my stone was prized. I could have just went for Iono and maybe found the Ray Candy Dragapult Fire that way. So yeah, Crystal is not super necessary. Right now I have like 3 boss orders, 1 counter catcher, and the prime catcher at the moment. Yeah, I think that's a bit overkill. I think like the best thing about prime catcher is that it saves you deck space, so you don't have to play as many boss. So I would probably be playing 2 boss, 1 counter catcher, 1 prime catcher, maybe even 1 boss, 2 counter catcher, 1 prime catcher. Typically with Dusknoir you can play from behind a lot more, right? Because you can like if you're at even prizes you can just like pop a Dusknoir play and then counter catcher. I think it's a little bit too much for sure. Is Crystal better than the Ace? I think I would either do 2 boss, 1 counter catcher, or 2 counter catcher, 1 boss when I'm playing prime catcher. And if I wasn't playing prime catcher I would do 2 of each. Is Crystal then better than the Ace Energy just because searchable? Yes. Crystal is much better than Neo Upper Energy. It also can't be enhanced hammered or templed, right? So it can be vacuumed though. But like by the time they vacuum it, the thing is like if you attack with a Neo Up Energy, because you have no energy on you before, and then your opponent enhanced hammers it, now your Dragapult has 0 energy on it. Whereas if you go attach Psychic Crystal, and then they lost vacuum to Crystal, you just need to attach a fire to attack again, right? Don't have any energy in discard, right? So we go. This is pretty bad. We'll go Xatu, Dreepy, flip the script, find me something good. No fire energy, unfortunately. Yeah, this is not good. I think I just kill the Rabsca because that thing's kind of scaring me. Stops my Phantom Dive. This is going to be tough if they can get the Rabsca out. So I think we'll just kill it now. Let's get another Dreepy down. Jet Headbutt. We're 4-4, so it's not the worst spot to be in, but it's not great because we don't have a lot going on. Now the Psychic Energy helps. We can get a Clairvoyant Sense up down. Then we just need to find Fire Rare Candy, so puts us in much better shape. Probably get to use Flip the Script next turn as well, so we get to draw 5 cards plus our draw for turn. But yeah, being able to do the Arvin for like Vessel, because you have to quick search for Neo Upper Energy, right? Or I guess like Tenacity if you play that, but you don't want to play Tenacity and Dragapult. But you can go Arvin for Vessel, Crystal, and then that's your attack. Okay, Stamp. That's not good. Stamp plus Knockout, and they got Thornton into the Rabsca. We're like not winning this, I think, at that point. This thing is so bad for us. We'll try though. We'll go ring this up. We'll go Vessel to Thin first. Grab Fire Psychic. Our first loss, most likely. Clairvoyant Sense. Yeah, we'll flip next. Disvolve from Candy. Disvolve from Candy? Okay. Hold up. Let's go Dracloak. Let's Recon Directive first. There might be a line. There might be a line. Candy. Can't use it here though. It's gonna go on the. I think we're just gonna go. Yeah, you know what? We're just gonna go boom, boom. I could even counter catcher this. I think I'm just gonna counter the Rotom though. It's 4 fire energy, 5 fire energy. That might be all they play, so it might be tough for them to retreat here too. So we're gonna counter this up. Obviously, it'd be tough for them to retreat this, but I want to take 2 prize cards when I do get attack off. So we're gonna go there, Iono, and then we'll just Devo. Grass modded Charizard. Yeah, it's just the Rabsca. It stops Phantom Dive from hitting the bench, so pretty scary for sure. But I actually think we might be able to pull it out here because we're gonna Devo. If they don't hit Candy, then we could be okay. They're already down 3 candies actually, so they can't go Candy Pitch and Candy Zard. They can only do. Oh no, the Rabsca prevents all effects, even prevents the Devo too. Oh yeah, no, there's no way. Yeah, I'm just gonna scoop. Because they can just quick search for Turo or whatever there. Yeah, Rabsca. I think you do lose the Zard with Rabsca if they get it out. You can try to kill it, but it's just like, I mean, I did kill it, and they just thorntoned it back into play, so it's just tough. But you're very favored in Zard without Rabsca. I actually don't. Rabsca maybe is like a lot better. I didn't really like it that much last format because it was mostly for Drago, and it felt like you couldn't get it out consistently enough. But now that there's Drago and Dragapult's a lot more popular in Stellar Crown format, I actually think this might be Christian Labella, DDG member. Let me ask. I'm gonna go second. That's good. It's kind of tough whether to go first or second right now in this format. With this hand, actually this is an okay going first hand. Opening the Alexam is really bad though, obviously. Hit Zard. But yeah, if anyone knows Christian Labella from DDG, I believe he has like a top 16 worlds, a top regional finalist, and very close friend of mine. He only lives like an hour away. So I think this might be him. I don't remember. I could be wrong. Stranger Steve could just be somebody totally different. Let me see if I can find out. Squawkabilly. I feel like, I mean, maybe. Is this just, yeah, I think this is going to be a no, I feel like it's going to be a no Pidge or Bib list. Just, yeah, complete these are Dusknoir, it looks like. Someone played this at Baltimore and did pretty well, I think. Just an really aggressive Zard list. I just started back up again, like yesterday. I played in the Phantoms EXS Plasma era. Nice. Welcome back. That is around... I started just a little bit before that, so... But I have not taken a break since I started playing, really. I didn't play a ton competitively when I first started playing, but... I was still around. I was there. Oh, this is kind of an awkward hand. I don't know what I want to do with it yet. I think I'm probably going to take this Vessel. I want to go for Xatu here. Maybe I'll Pokestop, actually. Because I really want to find, like, just one item. Any item. Which I did. We're going to go Ultra Ball. Get rid of Briar, Ultra Ball. To get the Xatu. I just wanted a card to discard for Ultra Ball. So, we'll go Xatu. Clairvoyant Sense, and I really want to find either Rare Candy or Prime Catcher, and then Arven for the other one. Not though. And I didn't find a V either, so I can't go for Stone. We'll just go Arven, Rare Candy, Rescue Board for next turn. Rare Candy into this, just to hope it survives. It's going to be really sketchy though, because of all the Dusks. Poffin. Let's get more Dreepies out, just in case. And I'll just pass. I think Briar kind of bait without Pidgeot and Dusknoir, and even then I'd rather have consistency after testing it. I definitely think Briar is worth it in the Pidgeot build, but yeah, I'm just giving it a shot in this right now. You can switch out with Lumen. It has come up quite a bit. So we'll see. I like Briar. I think that the card's kind of insane. But we will see. Hello, Mr. Dennis Paroff. Everyone congratulate Dennis on his top 32 Baltimore finish with Cornerstone Noivern. My goat, Dennis Paroff. Getting cards before it was like winning the tournament and trading packs. Yeah, definitely a lot more expensive back then. Game is so cheap now. This is looking a little scary. If they don't get a Dusknoir here, though, I think we're okay. Y'all cooked with that deck? Yeah, that deck was so cool. Shout out to Natalie Miller. Was the first one to suggest it in our Discord, and then and then everyone put in some good contributions. We all worked on the list really hard, and honestly, I think like at least 7 or 8 different people suggested changes that ended up sticking around in the list. So couldn't have done it without every single person involved. Even the players that didn't end up playing or ended up playing the 60 and didn't necessarily contribute as much to the list, so you still the moral support to have more people playing it, and even the players whose suggestions didn't make it into the final cut. I just having so many minds on the deck always helps in the deck building process. More ideas makes it easier to get it all ironed out. I am playing against Christian Labella right now, just so you all know. So we're playing against regional finalist extraordinaire, Dead Draw Gaming team member Christian Labella at the moment. I just got a response from him on Discord, and he's kind of cooking me right now, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Good thing this isn't the TSS versus DDG show match. I cooked on that one, so it's fine. I can lose to a DDG member. Christian, an amazing player and good friend. Well, Vessel. We might still be okay here, though. Clairvoyant Sense. Because we can kill this Duskull. Dragapult, Fire. Rescue Board. This Candy into play. Did Candy into play. I really want to find Counter Catcher. Haven't played one yet. Iono. Was that in the Patreon Discord or a private testing one? That's like my personal Discord, so that's not necessarily... Yeah, I didn't write an article about that, so... That's the kind of deck that, like, because I wasn't going to the tournament, especially, I would have written an article on that deck, but I didn't want to leak it because it wasn't just my idea. You know, there were so many people involved that were all playing it. It wasn't really my place to write an article on it. Normally, I will write a deck on my article, an article on whatever deck I'm playing before a tournament. But can't always. Sometimes I'm committed to secrecy. But that doesn't mean that the decks that I do write articles on I don't think are good plays for the tournament. I would never write an article on a deck that I didn't think was good. I'm just scared of him one-shotting my Dragapult again. He scooped! He scooped! We cooked! Maybe he was busy. I don't know if he just had to go, but hey, TSS, that's another TSS win over DDG right there. That's what I'm saying. I'm calling it. TSS wins in the chat. We cooked. We were in a very good spot there, so he probably just drew a dead hand off the Iono and decided to scoop. Ooh, you're in tight with the devs? What do you mean by the devs? When I say committed to secrecy, I meant like just with the people that were going to play the deck to Baltimore. Because we built it together. Hashtag TSS chair. My chair, unfortunately, my chair has not agreed necessarily to be sponsored by TSS yet. My chair runs a pretty hard bargain. You know, they have a higher rate than I do. They're really trying to hold out for some like crazy $1 billion deal for a sponsorship, but I'm sponsored by TSS. My chair is independent for now. Sneak peek info on what? I'm a bit lost about what you write. Like strategy articles, like what decks people should play, what their deck list should look like, advice, you know? For people looking for, you know, advice for their next tournament, or what decks are good, or what decks they should be playing. There's a lot of info out there that, you know, people. I just found your channel, but search PTCG Live. By searching PTCG Live, yeah. I mean, pro players get to spend. You know, it's we are very privileged in that we do this as a career, right? So we have a lot more time that we can dedicate to testing because it's part of our job, which is like a huge privilege, right? Like I'm very lucky that I can make this my career and have so much time to test. And so because I have so much time to test than the average player, I can write articles on my findings and my experience and stuff that just information that I've gained and skill I've gained over my 13 or so years of playing. And so that's what goes into the articles and saves people time that they might not necessarily have in their life to, you know, be able to commit to it. You know, it's like you can gain so much. You can gain information that I accumulated from many years of expertise and a lot of practice in, you know, like half an hour by reading an article, right? So that's the appeal on articles. You know, maybe I've put 100 hours into my Dragapult Xatu list, and you want to play Dragapult Xatu, but you don't have time to put 100 hours into the deck. So you can go ahead and read an article about it and gain a list that has had hundreds of hours of practice put into it. Now, I'm not saying I've played hundreds of hours of Dragapult Xatu recently, but that was just a hypothetical on you know, what Pokemon articles tend to entail. Oh, that's not good. I don't even want a candy because we just get devoted. I'm just going to go Dreepy Pass. This mostly just down as a stone target in case we get Ionode. But it's not looking great right now. And there's not really anything I can do about it. My hand's just dead. Candy Dragapult's obviously good, but not without energy. Even if I just had one energy, going for a Dread Headbutt here would be really nice. Take a prize. Start building, you know, a prize is both a prize towards my win con and basically a card draw, right? So that could be a good card that I draw for prizes to get me back into the game. I had the Game Boy Color game as a kid, so I know the basic meta really well. I never built great decks. Well, I don't think, you know, the Game Boy Color game unfortunately won't tell you really anything about the meta, because none of those cards are tournament legal anymore. I guess like Switch and maybe just Switch. Energy Retrieval? Oh no, Energy Retrieval did a different thing back then. It's slightly different. So, yeah, unfortunately that won't tell you anything about the meta. The meta is like, meta means like what decks are popular. Game Boy Color game really right now would just teach you like the rules of the game, right? The game is very, very, very different than it was in, you know, early 2000s, late 90s. Well, by late 90s, I mean just 1999 and then the early 2000s. Because that is when the game came to North America, at least. Yeah, very, very basic fundamentals of the game. I don't think you could really become a top-tier player through just the Game Boy Color game now, but you do learn, you know, the basic rules. I actually speedran the Game Boy Color game not that long ago. Not a competitive speedrun. I think I wasn't trying to glitch. I just, you know, playing on an emulator, just try to beat it as quickly as I could. It was fun. But playing only the Game Boy Color game for Louisville testing, yeah, I'm sure that will work out super well. I highly recommend. Let's kind of sketch now. Got a boss. They have 2 energy in discard. Yeah, they do. So it doesn't even help all this instant. Actually, I'll candy Dragapult now because I got Ionode. No, it's instant charge. Before I didn't want to candy Dragapult because my opponent, I kind of wanted my opponent to Ionode me. Anyways, and they could just like Devo. But now they're attacking, they're Miracle Forcing, so I know they're probably not going to Devo next turn. So I might as well just break any Dragapult, instant charge. Yeah, it's less, the articles are less so about insight on different mechanics, more insight about the actual metagame, right? What decks people are playing, how they should be playing them. Just learning the game, if you're just getting back into it and you want to study up on like rules and stuff like that, that's more, you know, you can do that just by playing, really. Just playing games, watching videos. Articles are really for when you want to get into the more competitive side of it. I mean, even something like this, like, right, like a stream, this can be the best for learning those fundamentals. How are you liking not to? I mean, it's still pretty good so far. We're 3-1 on the stream right now. I do think I'm kind of leaning towards Pidgeot being the better variant right now, but Xatu is more consistent. Artisan comes down. Flutter main. I think you go into Flutter. Kind of makes sense, setting it for like a Devo play by not getting my active, putting some damage on the bench. I mean, they'd rather have Munkidori in play though if they're going to do that. I don't know. Maybe they don't have Munkidori, they don't have Dark Energy. They definitely want Munkidori down in this matchup really bad. So if they don't get that, we're doing pretty fine. I've been playing Pidgeot and I am liking it. Yes, I like Pidgeot a lot. I think this is just more consistent, is like the big selling point for a Xatu build always. But I think Pidgeot could very well just be better right now. Because there's so many strong options that don't work in the Xatu build and do work in the Pidgeot build. Like you could play Dusknoir in this, but it's so much harder to pull off. Briar is so much harder to pull off. Turo you can't really play because you can't pull it off the right time. But with Pidgeot, you can do all that stuff whenever you want, right? Just curious, are you playing the Crystal? No, not in the Pidgeot build, yes. In the Xatu build, no, because you have Xatu to accelerate energy. Just a curious question, just based off this particular matchup, would you have said that Dragapult is more or less favored than Gardevoir right now? Dragapult is favored. With an Alakazam, Dragapult is favored. Without an Alakazam, Gardevoir is favored. But the Alakazam lets you move damage like from here onto Curlias and stuff like that. Whereas like the Munkidori can clean up most of the damage if you're not playing a Radiant Charizard. So Night March was the meta when I was playing. Yeah, I like Night March, but I don't miss Night March meta. 1 on there, 2 on there, okay. We're gonna bring up the Natu so it can receive Rescue Board. What A-Spec would you recommend for Natu? I'm playing Prime Catcher right now. That is definitely what I would recommend. Prime Catcher is typically the best. Ooh, I cannot accelerate from the active here. I think I probably want to Gust here anyways. How do I want to do this? What's Artisan? Grab this. Do I want to Arven for Counter Catcher now? Counter Catcher Rescue Board? And then I can Stone for the Fire? Seems good. Oh, Rescue Board is prized anyway, so I'm going to need Prime Catcher. But I'm not going to be able to retreat. Okay, let's just take... these... Counter Catcher for this. Clairvoyant Sense here. Okay. Fire. Stone for Prime Catcher to get Dragapult into the active. Okay, so we rolled a Phantom Dive. We got a little lucky on that. Clairvoyant Sense. We can do this. Grab this. Yeah, definitely should have brought out the Rotom. This would be much easier with the Rotom. Having been active and not having 2 Counter Catcher to use Clairvoyant Sense. But we'll go Ultra Ball, this. Grab this. And then we will Prime Catcher for this. Bring this up. Alakazam. Painful Spoons. We'll move 20 off of Flutter onto Curlia. And then I will just Phantom Dive. And knock out the Curlia. So this will go up to 280 if they, or 260. They can't really Turo it. I mean, they can, but then they just have to Midnight Fluttering. Okay, let me see. Catch up on the chat. Oh yeah, you're not being distracting. You're all good. If I can't answer, I won't. Opinion on top 3 decks in Standard with Stellar Crown. Popularity-wise, Dragapult, Charizard, Raging Bolt. Not in that order. It would be Charizard and then Raging Bolt and then Dragapult, I think. Maybe Regidrago instead of Dragapult, but it'll be close. Right now, it seems like Dragapult is more popular, but we could see that change. Guardy could end up in the top 3 at some point. Charizard and Raging Bolt top 2 for sure, I think. I think number 3 seems to be Dragapult right now. Drago and Guardy could both be in that top 5, maybe. Trapagos and Palkia also could end up in top 5 at some point, but... and then for like what I actually think is like the best 3 decks, honestly I don't know yet. I think Dragapult and Charizard probably. Charizard for sure is top 3. Everything else I think there's a lot of really good decks right now. I think it's kind of close. Snorlax is really good right now. Opponent scooped. So we're 4-1 right now. I was playing a Team Plasma EX deck with a lot of different pieces and single cards. I had Rainbow Energy, Decorator, Retreat. Nice, nice. Lugia just farms those 3. Lugia has other problems. Lugia is great against Dragapult and Charizard, although Charizard is pretty sketchy right now. I mean, it just depends on the text they play, right? Like, Lugia doesn't necessarily farm those 3, it just depends if they play Temple, Enhanced Tamer, stuff like that. And Lugia is also less consistent than those decks, so. But Lugia has other problems, right? You auto-lose the Thorns, realistically, like, you can play Flutter and have a chance, but it's pretty bad. You're really easy to tech for because people can play, like, Temples and Enhanced Tamers, and obviously those don't hard outright beat you, but they hurt. And then, Miraidon, also a really bad matchup. I don't think Terapagos is a great matchup for Lugia either. So, it has other problems. But Lugia's obviously not a bad deck. So, obviously, it's always going to be good. Just inherently high power level. Did you used to pilot Kyogre Lost Box? Not a lot. I played it in locals. I played it to 1 regional, I think. But, I liked it. There were just better, decks that I liked more at the time. Honestly, when I played Lost Box, I played a lot of, Sablezard and Lostina pre-rotation, when Kyogre was legal. So those were my go-tos. I did day 2, actually, Toronto with Lost Box Kyogre, but it wasn't really a Kyogre-based deck. It was actually a Lost Box Alolan Vulpix. Toronto 2022. I day 2'd with Lost Box Alolan Vulpix V-Star, and it just happened to have a Kyogre in it as well, so. How can you win Prime over Crystal? Arvin for Crystal to get Pult attacking seems so strong. You have Xatu, so you don't need it. It's really easy to get attacking with Xatu. In the Pidge build, yes, I agree. You for sure should play the Crystal, but in the Xatu build, it just doesn't need it. Especially, think about it this way: Xatu, the Dragapult has to be on the bench for you to accelerate energy to it with Xatu, right? So if you just play Prime Catcher, then you just Xatu the energy on, and then Prime Catcher the Dragapult to be active. So it's and Prime Catcher wins you way more games than a Crystal would. The deck is, in the Pidgeot build, you need it, because you don't have those other forms of energy acceleration if you miss turn 1 attach, but in the Xatu build, you just have better options. You don't need it, so they're stronger aspects to play, basically. That's the idea. Vacuum could be good here. Just get rid of this. I only play the Pidgeot build. Thanks for the top one. No problem. Yeah, Pidgeot is good too, but yeah, the Xatu build just doesn't necessarily need it. We'll go Evolution. We'll do these 2. I don't want the 60 HP one in this matchup, really. Every damage counter counts against Guardy. Do you think Crispin is good in the Pidgeot build? Yes, 100% Crispin is good in the Pidgeot build. Pidgeot is a really good card at the moment, for sure. Pidgeot, insanely good. And definitely, maybe the best card in one of the best cards in the format. Which regionals and ICs are you planning to attend this year? So NAIC for sure, Toronto for sure, and then probably Vancouver, and then other ones. Those definitely won't be my only events. I plan to go to at least 6, but I'm actually, my partner is due with, they're pregnant. My partner is pregnant, and they are due on October 1st. So I'm taking the beginning, first quarter off mostly. So my first major will be Toronto in December, since it's close to me. But not doing a whole lot of traveling right now. How's the flight to Vancouver? 8 hours, pretty cheap from Toronto. $300 usually, I think. 300 Canadian. So less American. Hey Cyrus, just popping in. Curious what you think Pult's best game plan is into Bolt. Usually, trying not to take knockouts, trying to just take a 6 price turn is your best way to go against Bolt. So if you can get if you can get the first attack, or at least get an attack off before they take 2 prize cards. So go second, turn 2 attack, and then from there, one sec. I'll get back to that explanation. I already have an Iona right, yeah. I'm gonna use the other Dracloak again before I Iono, because I kind of want to see if I can find a V to attach a stone to. Psychic Energy is better though than a V. Clairvoyant Sense, because I need the Psychic Energy anyways. Boom. No V, so we don't have it guaranteed here, but we need to find Rescue Board or Prime Catcher. Nope. Unfortunate. What we're going to do is we're going to attach Devo here. We're going to Poffin. I don't think I want that. We'll just thin out the Poffin. And then I'm just going to Devolution and buy myself a turn, because they won't be able to go directly into Gardevoir unless they find Candy, but even then they'll just have one Gardevoir, one Kirlia. So this just slows them down a lot to go for the Devo play, since I can't get the attack off. Sorry, Bolt matchup. Yeah, so you don't want to take knockouts, because that activates Pheasantipity and makes it easier for them to attack. So you just want to keep hand disrupting and then try to take a 6-price turn. Or, you know, at least take like a 4-price turn where you knock out Pheasantipity and Unfair Stamp if you play Unfair Stamp. Or Iono them to 2 if you don't play Unfair Stamp. And then take 2 more prizes from there. Definitely very unfavored for what it's worth. But that's your game plan. It's the best way to win it. Toronto shout out. Oh yeah. I don't live super close to Toronto. I mean, I live close to Toronto. I mean, I live closer than probably most viewers, since most viewers probably are not from Ontario. I live in like Niagara Falls, St. Catharines area, so an hour and a half-ish from Toronto. Pros/cons of Pidgeot versus Xatu build for a player interested in playing Pult but can't decide, and why do you prefer Xatu build? I've talked about it a bit today. I don't necessarily prefer the Xatu build. It's just what I'm playing right now. I think I think it's closer than people give credit for, but I think I'm slightly towards the Pidgeot build right now. Pros to the Pidgeot build are options. You have quick search, so you can play a lot of one-ofs that you can't find as consistently with the Xatu build, so they aren't worth playing. So in the Pidgeot build, you can use Turo, Crispin, and you can find your Devo more consistently. You can pull off Briar plays and use Dusknoir really consistently. On the other hand, sorry, let me play this turn quick. Recon Directive. And then I'll go over those pros to the Xatu build after this turn. This kind of talks about the pros, just playing this, one of the pros of Pulsati. Right here. I think I'm just going to put it all on the Kirlia. Well, it's probably going to evolve anyways. We'll spread it out, I think. Well, it's going to evolve. Kind of want to put the pressure on it. We'll do 1 here. For sure. Let's do 2, 2, 1. Spreading them out makes it harder for them to move the damage back to us with Bunkadori. So. The pros to the Xatu build is just consistency. So you are way more consistent because you don't need, and you have like this built-in energy acceleration, right? Pidgeot sometimes just gets knocked out, and then you don't have as much onboard draw, whereas Pult Xatu always has this Xatu that your opponent doesn't really want to deal with because it's only a 1-prizer, so you just get like a lot of extra draw. You can set up more Dracloaks because you play a thick Dracloak line. You just get to draw more cards every turn in the mid to late game. Especially if against decks that are good at knocking out Pidgeot, like Raging Bolt or Miraidon, the Pult Xatu build feels a lot better because you don't have that Pidgeot in play to just get knocked out and then weaken your draws. And then you don't have to play Stellar Knight Crystal because you have this for energy acceleration. You can just play Prime Catcher or Unfair Stamp, and both of those cards will win you a lot of games as Dragapult, right? Candy and Guardy again, we're so back. Thank you, Henry Chow. Yeah, I actually think that going to Stellar Crown, playing to a more Devo-focused angle is going to be better again. But for current Shrouded format, the Reikini build is definitely better. It helps against Regidrago a lot, in particular, the Turbo build. Yeah, very unfair, but good to know. I get an idea of how to handle it best. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. I got devolved for first time today. They devolved my Char and Pidgeot 200 plus damage. You only took 2 prizes. It was interesting, but I still won. Yeah, that's probably like a suboptimal use of Devo. That's like if you have to try to win, you can Devo that way, just knock out Charizard, Pidgeot. But typically, you want to win with Devo. You want to like set up a bunch of prizes in one turn, and you want to combine it with like a hand disrupt. But if you don't, then sometimes they will just candy anyways, and it won't matter. What do you think about Chen Pao in Stellar Crown format? It doesn't seem terrible, but I don't know. It's kind of weak to Dusknoir shenanigans. It doesn't have a very good Dragapult matchup. Definitely better than people give it credit for, but I think Palkia is just better Chen Pao in Stellar Crown format, because now that Palkia can one-shot stuff, it's way better at getting turn 2 Greninja Cologne plays, and now it can one-shot stuff almost as easily as Chen Pao can, so there's not a whole lot of merit to playing Chen Pao, which is just like a lot more consistent. As a Magic player, I look at Dio as one of the few Wrath effects in Pokemon, even if it's kind of conditional. Is Wrath... I don't know... I played a bit of Magic, but I don't know what Wrath effects refers to. Is that like board wipe? Wrath is like a board wipe from the card Wrath of God. Yeah, I've heard of Wrath of God, but I don't actually know what it does. But now I have an idea. It's something to do with board wipe. We'll go Dracloak. We got him fair stamped, and we got one shot by this Drifloon. So let's just go Nest Ball. Ooh, Pheasantivity Prize. That's not good. We're gonna do... Do I want to bench this? Yeah. In case I find Stone. Recon. Reward it. Stone. I kind of want to use the Ultra Ball, so I'm going to Painful Spoons and just move this to knock out the Drifloon. And then I can get a card of the prizes, the Ultra Ball away. That worked out pretty well. We're just gonna Iono. Start Alchemy at the fire. I'm gonna save the Psychic in hand in case I need to retreat next turn. I can always Clairvoyant Sense with it next turn. If I put all 60 here, then even if they move 30, it'll still be in range of another Phantom Dive to knock out next turn. So, okay, sorry, catch up on these chats. I gotta say, there's some really interesting cartoon abilities. They went full art crazy though. Not gonna lie. I mean, you don't have to play full arts if you don't want to. It's just another option for people who do like the full arts. I'm bored of playing the Moon build from Worlds. Any recommendations for what to transition to? I love Pulp, but I can't pilot it for the life of me. How do you feel about Raging Bolt? I know it's kind of similar. to Moon. Maybe you'd still be too bored of that. If you want to, like, I'd say, like, if you want to play, like, those turbo aggressive decks, if that's kind of stuff you like, there's, like, Bolt. Vesuvian Zoroark is pretty cool. If you want, like, a middle ground of, like, transitioning from, you know, the more aggressive decks into stuff with a little bit more going on, you could just try Lugia as, like, a little middle ground there. Charizard is, like, a deck that's very complicated the more you get to know it, but, like, it's not super hard to play. Just pick up and, like, try to play. You know, your win percentage is only going to go up the better you get with it, but it's, you know, when you just start playing it, you don't necessarily need to know all the crazy stuff you can do, and you'll sort of learn it as you play. So that can be a good deck to, if you're, like, a little bit worried about your ability to pilot. Ragey Drago is another one that, same thing. It's like, it's actually a deceivingly hard deck to play, but it does still have that aggro deck feel while having a little bit more complexity. So that can be a good recommendation as well to go for Moon. But if you really like Moon and the way that it plays, then I would say, and you just don't want to play Moon specifically, then I would say Raging Bolt. What's better than Grass or Water, Bench Protector, Manaphy, or that other one? Well, Rabsca is stronger, its ability is stronger, but it only works with, like, Evo TM. And it's a stage 1, so it's a lot harder to get out. So, generally speaking, Manaphy is a better card, but they sort of serve different purposes. Rabsca is more of a all-encompassing protection, because it prevents Phantom Dive damage as well, which Manaphy does not. And prevents Evo. So in certain decks, another Guardy win, let's go! In certain decks, it's definitely, the Rabsca is better, but generally speaking, most decks will just want to play Manaphy. Or just no Bench Protection at all. A lot of decks don't even need it. The new Fan Rotom / Noctowl Bolt list is so fun. Yeah, it looks fun. Personally, I'm not sold on it yet. I think that cutting Pokegear is not great in a deck that wants to attack turn 1 every game. But, you know, past turn 1, or if you go first, then Noctowl is great. I have a Manaphy at the moment. Yeah, it's probably the right call depending on what deck you play. Rabsca is really only, like, a very niche card that's played with, like, Evo TM and Charizard sometimes to help against bench effects. Sorry if I asked already earlier, but what do you think of Hydrapple EX? Do you think it'd be competitive with the right build? I haven't tried it yet. Personally, no. To be honest, I think it is just sort of like a rogue for fun deck, more so. It's, like, fine. I'm sure it can, like, it could be, like, mildly competitive. Like, you could win a League Cup or something with Hydrapple, probably. But, if you play well and have a good list. But, like, I don't think it's ever going to win a big tournament, personally. But I could be wrong. I haven't tried it yet, so it could be better than I think. Price 3 Dreepy. So that's not good, obviously. We'll go Psychic. I'm going to Ultra Ball away Dracloak Countercatcher. Not going to be relevant here, because we're playing against wugtrio, which doesn't take prizes. We're just going to go for Rotom and try to get the turn 2 attack. You have the Prime Catcher, so we'll get in the active, we just need Ray Candy Fire. Stone will get us one of the pieces, so now we just need Ray Candy Fire still, and then we can Stone for the other one. OMG, haha, not the Bolt. Sorry, I didn't need to read the OMG, haha. Processing. Not the Bolt. Definitely want to play something a little more complex. I was considering Zard or the new Hydrapple. Thank you. Yeah, I would definitely do Zard over Hydrapple. I don't think Hydrapple is super competitive. Hydrapple EX with Teal Mask. Yeah, I mean that's what you would play with. I was assuming we were talking about with Teal Mask for sure. It's what has given my Charizard deck issues. Definitely solid against Charizard, but Radiant Charizard is a very good card. If you learn how to use Radiant Charizard properly, I think you should have just a fine time against Hydrapple. I've been doing alright with Hydrapple EX on PTCGL at first, but lately I've been struggling with it hardcore. Yeah, I think it's, you know, no shade to PTCGL testing, but it's not going to be the most accurate, right? You can definitely hit a lot of players who don't know what they're doing as much, especially against new decks on PCGL. So, like I went like 10-2 or something, grind leveled all the way up to Arceus tier with Dialga on a stream a few weeks ago. Which Dialga, it's a fine deck, but same idea. It's not necessarily the most competitive. Opening this is gonna be like horrible for me in this game, but we're gonna try to just like be really disruptive here. We're gonna Prime Catcher up the Squabit, so you need an energy to retreat if I miss attack, and then I will just. Do I want to Stone for Rare Kitty now? I don't think so. I think I'll just Iono. Okay, so we got Candy, so we'll just Stone. I'm just going to target their draw engine here. Go after the Bidoof. They can't draw cards, they won't be able to chain attacks super consistently go into the later stages of the game. Thoughts on Drago as a deck and how it is positioned for Spellcraft meta? Tier 1 or no? Probably still Tier 1, yeah. Still very good. Just, there's more options now, so people are trying out other stuff for now. I'm probably going to go into like 6:30. So, got another half hour in me or so. We'll see how long these games take. But Zard is the most brain dead deck. I'm not even. Take is so bad. I'm not even gonna engage with it. To be honest, Zard is. Every top player knows Zard is. Relatively simple if you're new to playing it, but once you, play it more, you realize how complex it can be. Especially now with Giant Tree, Briar, Dusk Noir. Like the deck is so much more complex than most of the other decks in the format. There's so many lines, so many ways to checkmate your opponents. Very powerful deck. Hydropole seems one note, either the plan works or it doesn't. Other decks just have more depth. Maybe I need to play it more, but that's my hot take. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's too out of a take. It's just a rogue deck, What do you think about Terapagos Palkia? I think Palkia is great. I played it on stream on Friday, actually. It didn't go super well, but I think I just had some rough games. The deck is definitely good. It's like better Chien-Pao now. Turn 2 Moonlight Shuriken stuff, and then take one-shots. Alright. My Alakazam, a little bit trapped here. We'll just go put a Psychic Energy on there. Attach the Evo. I could Evo into a Droopy if I don't find Rescue Board here. What's Iono? Sucks Iono may put it back up to 6 cards, but yeah, I'll just Evolution into a Dragapult. Why didn't it let me choose Rotom as an Evo TM target? Okay, sorry, let me catch up on comments. What do you think about Terapagos Palkia? Yeah, okay, answer that. I use Radiant Charizard, yeah, 4 prize down, it's only 1 fire energy for 250 damage. Hydropole EX is what we were talking about, though, and Hydropole is weak to fire, isn't it? Maybe it's not. Yeah, it's weak to fire, so it's 500 damage against Hydropole EX. That's why I was talking about using it properly against Hydropole. Hydropole with or without Earthen Vessel? Based on what I don't have a list personally for Hydropole. Just because I think it's pretty rogue. It's not something that I'd really consider playing or worth testing a ton of. But personally, I mean, it might be better than I think. But I assume you play Earthen Vessel in it, just based on the way it works. You get a bunch of teals on board, get a bunch of energy to play. How's it going? What did I miss? It's going great. We are currently 5-1. We beat a Greninja, a Miraidon, a Charizard, 2 Gardevoir, and then lost to 1 Charizard. Surface level Zard is simple, but the higher levels is definitely complex. Yeah, exactly. It gets more complex the better you are at playing it. We'll go Psychic Energy. I don't want all my Ionos to get milled, so I'm gonna Recon Directive and see if I can find some. But I don't want to draw too many cards that just place into their hand. What's Mind Ruler? Take the knockout. I don't want to retreat, just because I want to retreat with a rescue board, if anything. I could Arvin for one, I guess, but I don't want to just, like, give them the easy thing to keep bringing back up in the active. Especially if I like, rescue board retreat, and then they go, like, counter catcher Lost Vacuum on the rescue board. Tweaking the Charizard is the way I'm playing right at the moment. Yeah, Charizard's, I mean, best second format, post-Stellar Crown, so definitely a good deck to just play and tweak. What would you say the best list for Zard is? And also, could you please share the list for this Pult deck? Actually, my Zard... The Zard list I have is not mine. The one that I like the best right now is a friend, so I can't actually share it. But I do have a very, very similar list to the one that I'm playing in my Patreon article for TSS. I've just made some changes since then with help of a friend. But I might write an article on Zard in the next coming weeks if I on like my updated list. Okay, I see what you're saying. I ended up putting Zard together with the tree. I think you should probably play tree, yeah. Having everything you have in Alt Wall is just so nice, yeah. Tree is kind of insane. Is there any way for Duskguard to beat Snorlax stall? Can't figure it out. Yeah, spam Dusknoir, and then Iono them to low hand sizes. And don't bench anything that's not Charizard or Pidgeot if you can help it, or Dusknoir. That is the best way to go. And then make sure you save your Turo and Palpad. It's definitely a bad matchup, but it's definitely winnable. We'll go retreat. Phantom Dive. Then next turn, we can easily take 2 prize cards. That link I sent, by the way, should have a link to my list. That is what I was sending. Someone asked about the list. Well, it's a link to my Twitter post that has the list in the replies, so if you don't see it right away, just scroll down to the replies. Top 3 tier 1 decks to pilot. I'm not sure what you mean by to pilot. Like top 3 most difficult to pilot, top 3 ones that are best positioned into the metagame, top 3 easiest to pilot. Can you show your list? Yeah. So that link just above that I sent, that will get you the list that I'm playing right now. And we are about to be 6-1 most likely. Top 3 most difficult tier 1 decks to play. Charizard. To play... That's still a difficult question, actually. Because it's like whether or not you mean to play for beginners or just in general. Like to play at all or to play to its maximum potential, right? So to play to its maximum potential, like to play as well as you need to like consistently, do really, really well, I would say Charizard, Dragapult, and Gardevoir. And maybe Pidgeot Control, but that's less popular. They use Flute and Erica to fill my bench, and I run only 1 Turo. The Dustline can kill 1 Mimikyu, and they discard Super Rods with Erica. I mean, yeah, it's a bad matchup for sure. But yeah, your best game plan is to Dust them a bunch of times, then Iono them low hand sizes to give them less options. And you should attack the Mimikyu with the Charmeleon, ideally. A little bit more damage. Why do you play Riolu? I don't play Riolu, so I think you might be thinking of a different card, maybe. Did my list accidentally have Riolu in it? No, it did not. Maybe I'm getting trolled, or maybe you might have seen a different card. This way easier than Pidge to play? Yes, I agree. I mean, the Pidge is the hardest deck in the format, for sure. but I just wasn't counting it in the tier 1, 3 hardest tier 1 decks to play question, because although it's tier 1 in my opinion, like how good it is, it's definitely not tier 1 in, you know, like popularity. I don't know what I'm playing against right now. Something with Luxray in it. Nestball, Rotom Prize, we'll just get another Dreepy. Dreepy. My beloved Dreepies. They also run the Gravity Stone, so it's handled with Fan and League Critters, so attacking Mimikyu is also hard now. Well, the Headquarters doesn't apply to... Yeah. I mean, it's always been hard to beat Snorlax. But with Dusknoir and Giant Tree and stuff, it's easier to beat Snorlax than it ever has been. But it's still unfavored. Still, you know, most of the time, if both players play perfectly, the Snorlax player will still win. But it's not impossible. You just have to execute your optimal strategies and then hope you get a little lucky. I'm thinking about swapping out an Energy or a Trainer for another Radiant Charizard. Well, you can't do that. You can only play one. It's a Radiant. Which deck would you recommend to a first-time regional attendee? Ogre Bolt, yes. Definitely right now, Stellar Crown format, Raging Bolt. Shredded Fable format, probably Roaring Moon, but the next major event will be in Stellar Crown, so. Back-to-back wugtrio mill, yeah. I mean, that's PTCG Live Ladder for you. Okay, seems pretty good. We'll go Recon first. Do I want the Psychic? I think I do want the Psychic. I don't need another Droopy. I want Fire, though, and I don't have a way to find it. Oh, wait. I already have the candy, so I can just... And I have Ultra Ball? Yeah, okay. So we'll just go Arven, Vessel, Evo. I don't think I need Evo here. We'll go Vessel away the Evo. Fire, Psychic. I think I'm going to discard one of these Psychics. And the Stone, probably. We'll go Ultra Ball, Stone, Psychic. We don't have attack here, though. We'll just go Xatu. I'm going to accelerate to one of the other Dreepy in case I draw Dragapult, since I have the candy anyways. Just go Fire there for the same reason. Turn. This matchup is like so good for us. How does Stall play 3 games in 50 minutes of tournaments? Don't 3 deck outs take really long? Well, you don't have to deck someone out 3 times, right? Because you're gonna if you have to go to game 3, you're gonna lose one of those. Most control decks, the thing is that they have like really favorable matchups, right? So it's like 80-20. So the odds are that you will win your matchups 2-0 if you hit good matchups. So you don't have to win 3 games in 30 minutes, in 50 minutes. In fact, you really only have to win 1. The second one doesn't even, you're going to try to finish it, but it doesn't even need to finish. If you win 1, you can win 1-0 as well, right? So if your opponent decides not to scoop when they're going to lose in game 1, they still have to beat you game 2 to have a chance, right? So, yeah, you don't need to, I mean, you just hit good matchups, and then you win 1-0 or 2-0, and you're fine. And then even if you have to play 30 minutes, if you just scoop really quickly when you're going to lose, then you can deck someone out twice in 25 minutes each. Easily deck someone out in 25 minutes. If any, you can deck someone out in 15 minutes if both players are playing at a reasonable pace, and it's... Some matchups take longer than others. Like Charizard can take a while because they play so many Iono, but... Radiant cards have rules. Yeah, all cards have rules, actually. But yeah, you can only play 1 Radiant in a deck. Yeah. Um, we'll go Clairvoyant Sense. Just draw some cards. We'll accelerate to this one. Boom, boom. Sorry, the all cards have rules a little bit sassy. Didn't mean to sass you. I just thought it was kind of funny. We'll go Phantom Dive. This could even be the same player. I didn't check the username, so we might just playing with the same wugtrio player both games here. Is Sparkling Crystal not good enough to include? It's just not necessary in Xatu, because we use Xatu for the extra attachments. If you're playing Pidgeot, then you should play Sparkling Crystal. Remember a few streams back you said Zard Control had a hard time against a normal Charizard with Dusknoir in it. Do you think there's a version of Zard Control that can compete, or are we cooked? It has a harder time than Charizard without Dusknoir, but it's still favorable. Like, the matchup's still good for Charizard Control. I think I was probably just saying that it's tougher than the list without Dusknoir. Without Dusknoir, it's completely free. But sometimes the I can't find the article for the Zard list. Do you happen to have a link, please, Cyrus? Absolutely. Profile. So here's my link tree. So that has all my links to all my stuff, but it's on my articles for the Shuffle Squad on the link tree. It's like the fourth link down. That'll take you to it's not a free article though, this one. Just so as a heads up. That is like it's not, you don't have to pay for just that article individually. If you subscribe to the TSS Patreon, you get access to all of the articles on there. Which we have like all of the TSS members write articles for us. We have almost daily articles, I think. So a ton of info out there. I'll be writing another article for next week, I think. So you'll see more articles from me on there as well if you subscribe for the month. I just need to find an energy here. Let's Recon Director first. Nice. Grab the Psychic. Boom. Take another 2-prize turn. Oh, they got the Stadium, so we gotta find Iono as well here. Actually, I'll probably just Ultra Ball for Lumen for the Vacuum. Guarantee it. I don't need Alakazam. It'll just get trapped. Lumen. Arven. Vacuum. Yep, it's in there. I still have Prime Treasure left as switching out as well, so. But I'd rather just Vacuum here, get rid of the Stadium. Arven, Vacuum, take the Rescue Board, because that'll work as well next turn, but we'll get rid of the Stadium first to force them to find another one. Phantom Dive. Because I Rescue Board now, they'll just pull up something else next turn, and I'll still have to get rid of the Stadium in the long run anyways. Take another 2-prize turn, and then we can take another 2-prize turn on the Squavit for our last 2-prize cards next turn. Boom, boom. So, with how long this game is going, those will probably be my last one, because I got a coach at 7. And we have been streaming for, like an hour, almost 2 hours now. 2 hours at 6:30. You think Ancient is a terrible play for Dortmund? Been playing it since Worlds. I wouldn't recommend it right now. I think it definitely gets a lot worse with Briar, unfortunately. So and Zard is gonna be the most popular deck, which has always been sort of your toughest matchup. So I think it's probably the worst position Ancient box has been since its release, I think. Although it was pretty poorly positioned for NAIC as well. Actually, it turned out that it was pretty okay for NAIC, actually, because of top 8 did end up being Lost Box and 7 Gertie, which are all good matchups for Ancient. So yeah, right now it's probably the worst positioned Ancient box has ever been, unfortunately. But It's not if it's the thing you're most comfortable with, it's not like you absolutely can't play it, but I definitely wouldn't recommend it. Could you explain what a normal gameplay would look like? There's no Zards on my LGS right now, but feel like it's important info. For Zard control, against the Duskmoor build, you just attack with Cornerstone. That way, they have to use multiple Dusks to deal with the Cornerstone, and they're giving you prizes in the meantime. So by attacking, you can target down the Duskmoors, and then advance towards just a 6 prize win condition, right? By taking prizes. It'll definitely be closer games, but okay. You know what? I'll do one more game since we just hit 2 wugtrio in a row. I'd like you guys to be able to see one more game against a real deck. So we'll do one more game and then I'll wrap up. We can definitely finish another game in the next 20 minutes at least. What is the energy counts for Dragapult? 5 Psychic, 3 Fire. If you go to that link tree above and go to my Twitter, the list is on there. It's like one of the most recent post I made advertising the stream. The list is in the comments below on the post. I'm listening to music right now. I'm listening to some royalty-free jazz music. If any of y'all are listening to music, what do you listen to? Will you be streaming any Duskzard gameplay? Not. It's not in my schedule right now, but I could potentially stream some Duskzard in the next couple weeks. I only stream typically once a week, so I'll be streaming again this Friday. Okay. This is the same wugtrio player the 3rd time in a row, guys. I'm sorry. I wanted to play one more game to give you non-wugtrio action, but this wugtrio player just really loves playing against me, apparently. So we're just gonna have to farm another wugtrio player. If this is quick, then maybe we can play another game after that. I'm so in love with the Duskline ability that I can't not use it in my Pult list. Yeah, I think Dusknoir is good in Pult, but I think not as much in the Xatu build. I think if you want to play Dusknoir, you should play the Pidgeot build. I do have a Dusknoir Pidgeot Dragapult list in the Patreon article that I was talking about earlier. So if you follow if anyone's curious about what a Pult Pidge list would look like from me, the Linktree link I sent earlier will take you there. You can go to my Patreon articles for the Shuffle Squad. Because I know I've gotten a lot of questions about Pult Pidge today as well. Okay, we do have attack here. So, should be smooth sailing once again against this. I might even be able to go... Actually, I can go around this. I don't want to give them gift energy. Although, I think I need to search for 2 cards anyways. Maybe it doesn't matter if I give them gift energy. Oh, they have to reveal, so I can see what they get. Iono Heavy Ball. Yeah, I don't mind giving them gift energy then. I'm not going to bother using the stone to counter catch or something. Maybe I will, actually. I don't know. I don't want to really care about knocking out the Luxray. Seems like it probably is just better to knock out something else, right? We'll go get rid of these 2. Get the Dragapult. My stone was prized, though, I think, so I actually can't go for it anyways. So it is an irrelevant decision here. But I think if I could, I think I would go for the counter catcher and just knock out Wiglet Bidoof instead. But here we'll just go knock out Luxray, kill Bidoof. Continue to limit my opponent's draw. The way I have the last 2 times I hit them on ladder today. to change the batteries. Oh, my webcam's dying too. A nightmare. There we go. I think we will get one more game in if this is... This seems like it'll probably be pretty quick. I think I faced the Pult deck before, but I do coach at 7, so if we're running short on time after the next game, I'll have to scoop it up. I think I faced the Pult deck before. I lost, I think. Yeah, Pult's a pretty... I mean, it's not like the worst matchup for Charizard now that you have Dusknoir, but generally speaking, not a good matchup for Charizard. I remember that move. Yeah, Red Drago also plays Dragapult to copy Phantom Dive with, so... Lots of Phantom Dive around right now. And Phantom Diving does tend to be a pretty good strategy against other evolution decks. Yeah, unfortunately, there's not a ton to say about this wugtrio matchup. It's so free, and I've hit it 3 times in a row now. So at this point, we're just clicking the attacks and farming these wugtrios. My hand's not very good right now, though. So maybe I'm stuck in the active for a turn here, and they can, or maybe a couple turns if I keep drawing dead. Oh, and there's an energy. Retreat. Phantom Dive. And once again, we're going to take out the Bidoof. And then we just knock out Squabbit, and they're active for game next turn. The Pult versus Zard matchup feels like it comes down to who goes first a lot of the time. Teching in or Devo in my Pult is help a lot versus Zard, though. Yeah, you should definitely be playing Devo in Pult now that Zard is BAF again, for sure. The matchup definitely in favor for Dragapult, but not by a ton. Now that they have Dusknoir. Before they had Dusknoir, it was super good matchup. What are your thoughts on Zoroark V-Star in the new format? I think it's pretty good, actually. I was testing a lot of it. I think it could end up just being like worse than Raging Bolt, unfortunately, as an aggro deck, but I don't know. It felt very consistent to me. It felt very strong. Very good at what it does. I like it a lot better now that we have Area 0. Alright, they got 2 heads, and I got to announce Phantom Dive for game. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, if we hit wugtrio a 4th time in a row, guys, I'm sorry, but I guess you're just going to have to watch a 4th wugtrio game before I finish the stream. Hopefully we hit a real deck this time, because I don't want to show you 4 wugtrio games in a row. I really want to get one more real game in before I wrap it up. So if this person could stop queuing into the ladder into me, that would be fantastic. We're climbing though. Climbing the ranks with these wugtrio wins. We are now 3, 6, 8, 1 on stream, and 3 of those were against wugtrio. So 5-1 against non-wugtrio decks. Been thinking about adding a Collapse to my deck just for Area 0, but I'm struggling to see what I would cut for it. I feel like I do play a Collapsed in my Stellar Crown Pult pitch list. Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure I got it in there. Yeah, so hey, I'm not trying to bankrupt anybody, but if you wanna see the list, see what I cut for it, you can check out my TSS Patreon article. Taking notes, Pult hard counters wugtrio mill. Yes, it does. Wugtrio, if you're expecting a lot of Dragapult around, there's one more reason not to play wugtrio on top of the dozens of other ones, I'm sure. But I'm just using just a basic Charizard deck at the moment, looking at different cards. Like I said, started up yesterday, so I have like 4 Charizard, 2 Pidgey. Yeah, that's pretty standard. Moltres? I wouldn't play Moltres for sure. I swapped the types out. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but yeah, I think if you're starting out, a Charizard list with no Dusknoir is probably a good way to go. If you're just sort of getting back into it, want to learn the format a little bit more, Dusknoir is makes the deck a lot more complex. So, but Dusknoir definitely is the key to unlocking the deck's full potential right now. Dusknoir, Giant Tree, and Briar feel pretty key. Nobody told me what music they were listening to. So sad. No recommendations. But maybe no one's listening to music. I talked about it. I asked on stream last time. I said I have to listen to music while I stream. I have ADHD. Maybe that's why I need the extra stimulation. But I always listen to music when I watch stream. I couldn't do just someone's voice and no music. We'll go Poffin. But everybody on stream last time said they don't really listen to music when they watch the stream either, so maybe that really is just me. Like, I don't even know if I want to take a Poffin here. Actually, I do need another Natu here. Bang, bang. Xatu. Dracloak. Thank you. Thank you for someone telling me what they're listening to right now. Do you think Manaphy is cuttable from Duskzard? I mean, it depends on what matchups you expect to play against. If you expect to play against Regidrago, then probably not because of the Kyurem. Or like Chen Pao, anything with Radiant Greninja or Kyurem really. But, well, Regidrago or a Radiant Greninja deck. Palkia, you also need Manaphy really bad against. So, not necessarily, but if you're like local meta, if you're not expecting to play against a lot of bench snipe decks, then yeah, then I think it's cuttable. But yeah, it just depends on your local meta, and I think currently I probably would play it safe with Regidrago and Palkia both being pretty popular. I have the damage counter Moltres, not the retreat one. Yeah, I wouldn't play any Moltres. I don't even know. I don't know which. I assume you were talking about the single prize one, but I wouldn't play any Moltres and Charizard. I have the other Charmanders and Charmeleons from Pokemon Go, I think. Yeah, that's a good start, but I would definitely try to get the 70 HP Charmeleons because it makes a pretty big difference against these Phantom Dive decks. That is unfortunate. Not looking so good here. We'll go Arven for Vessel Devo. And just Vessel away the Devo. And then hopefully we can find something good off this Clairvoyant Sense. 2 Dreepy prize again. We've been prizing a lot of Dreepies today. So it's going to be Dracloak, which is pretty scary. They could just boss again, potentially. All they need is Noctowl. We'll take the Ultra Ball so that we at least can get the... Actually, we'll use it now and just get the Rotom. I just kind of have to hope they don't knock me out here. I was thinking about, like, maybe... Like, I get stoned for a Night Stretcher, but I think I still lose if they boss that Dracloak. I think it's better just instant charge and hope. I was thinking about maybe, like, counter-catching something to force them to have an energy to retreat as well. But if they have Noctowl, they can just get both anyways. So my best chance is just to hope they don't have Noctowl or a boss here. They might only play one boss. It might be, like, more... They might play some counter-catcher or something, but they probably play a second boss here. The Dragapult Xatu to play over Pidgeot. I think Pidgeot's a little bit better right now, to be honest. But Dragapult Xatu is definitely more consistent. But Dragapult Xatu can't really use cards like Turo and Clap Stadium and Crispin, stuff like that consistently. Oh, you don't need Crispin and Pult Xatu, but Briar, Dusknoir, and Turo and Collapse. They're all cards that the Pidgeot build's a lot better at using, and those cards are so strong right now. But Dragapult Xatu still has a lot of merit as just like the more consistent, streamlined build of the deck. Yeah. That's the Meltres I assumed you were talking about. Charizard just doesn't really need it. You just attack with Charizard, and then later in the game, if you want a single prizer, you can use the Radiant Charizard. But, Meltres isn't the worst card in the world for sure. So yeah, this game is not looking good. I don't know if you guys noticed, but it's not looking good. I'm sure you did. We'll go Stone, Night Stretcher, get one of these Dreepies back, Evolve, Clairvoyant Sense onto the Dreepy. Maybe they won't fly in boss a third time, and we can come back. We could still come back. We're not out of the game for sure. Like, if we get attacking, there's definitely room for a comeback. Once again, I'm just going to hope they don't have boss. They might only play 2 boss. That's, like, a lot more reasonable. So, I think it's fine to hope they don't have boss here. I do enjoy playing the Xatu deck more. I have a lot more fun with it. It bricks less. Cleaner. More consistent. I have more fun playing Xatu. So I'm definitely a little bit biased in that sense towards Xatu. But I do still think that Pult Xatu is underrated. And I do still think that Pult Pitch is a little bit better. Okay, they didn't have another boss, so we actually could make a comeback here, I think. You go Candy. Oh, this is annoying. This is for sure annoying. I think I want to bench this. I want another... Oh, I think I have to grab the fire. In case I miss. I really need to attack here, right? So, fire. And then... Do I want a counter catcher? I think I might want a counter catcher. And knock out the Bouffalant. Just let you know. I'm just gonna hit the active. Bouffalant's... Oh, they need 2 Bouffalant in play anyways, right? Yeah, okay, so we're fine. That was silly of me to even consider doing. I'm gonna use the Poffin. I know there's not really anything to grab, but I think I'll do the Manaphy because I have the bench space. I can thin it out of the deck. If they don't find another Bouffalant, I can kill both Terrapagos next turn. Go 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. Oh, that was bad on me. Now I have to find vacuum next turn. Because what I should have done is I should have put 2 on one of these Rotoms instead of 1 on each. Because then I could move them with Alakazam to this to put it in range of knockout without having to use vacuum. But they found another Bouffalant anyways, so. No, my stone. I don't know if it's a specific Pult Pidge build I have, but it feels like it has been bricking for me a lot. Yeah, it's definitely a little brickier. I don't think Pult Pidge in general is bricky. It might have some more to do with the list that you're playing, but yeah, Pult Xatu is definitely more consistent for sure. Now what? This is not great. I was kind of just hoping that Iono stuck, to be honest. did get another. I was hoping they didn't get another Bouffalant, and I could knock both of these out, but they did. So we'll just have to go. Yeah. Prizing the double Dreepy is really hurt me here. We'll do this. Vessel away, Nest Ball. Clairvoyant Sense to Alakazam, so we at least have another attacker, and then we're going to try to stall the other Bouffalant in the active next turn for a turn, while we get another Dragapult setups. Hopefully we get what we need off the prizes. But we do need a lot to get going here. I'm just going to put 60 on this, and I'll kill with Alakazam next turn. That way we don't free up any bench space and use, like, Fez or something. Could Blissey with multiple Glass Trumpets work? So, Blissey Glass Trumpet is a really cool combo. I actually played a Palkulus with Blissey, with a 1/1 Blissey and 2 Glass Trumpet. Or just 1 Glass Trumpet in that list. But I played a Palkulus with 1/1 Blissey and Glass Trumpet on stream last Friday. But the better way to play it is not with, not necessarily with, on its own. Like, what you should do is use Blissey, Glass Trumpet to put the energy on Blissey or whatever other normal type Pokemon you play, maybe Noctowl. And then use the Blissey to move energy onto other stuff. So use that as, like, extra energy acceleration for other decks. So in Palkia it works really well to get, like, reusing your Greninja attack a bunch and stuff like that. Okay, moment of truth. Give me a Dreepy. 1, 2. Okay, that is Dreepy. We still need a Psychic Energy, though, unfortunately, to actually attack with the Dragapult, because my last one is prized as well. Counter Catcher this. So next turn it's probably just going to be a Jet Headbutt angle, sadly. Jet Headbutt could still be enough to knock this out, though, right? I have Alakazam, so we might be okay. Might be okay. Is it better to start with Charmander / Pidgey or something like Manaphy, Fez, Rotom? It kind of depends on what else is in the hand. If you can find it, if you know you're gonna be able to find another Charizard. Penny. Found the out to get the Bouffalant out of the active off the Iona to 1. What can you do? So I actually think we're in a really good spot there. If they didn't find the Penny that turn, we would have went Arven for... We would have got the Dragapult out and just Prime Catchered the Trapagos. Or no, we couldn't even Prime Catcher. So, couldn't even Prime Catcher because we would be doing 10 to the Trapagos. So we would just knock out the Bouffalant. They'd hit us, try to two-shot our Dragapult, and we would knock it out, and then we'd hopefully just be able to fan by 2 prize cards. So it was close. But they did have the out to Penny to pick up the active. So that's alright. Our prizes were pretty bad there and cost us. Thank everyone for watching. We went... What was our overall record? I know we hit 3 wugtrio, but still. We went 8-2 overall. Beat 2 Guardy, 1 Zard, 1 Dawn, 1 Ninja, 3 wugtrio, and then lost to 1 Trapagos and 1 Charizard. And I think we got pretty unlucky against both, so... Dragapult Zatu, still feeling pretty good. Like I said, I think Dragapult Pidgeot's probably better, but... I'll answer that question to end off the stream. Is it better to start with Charmander or Pidgey? Or something like Manaphy, Faz, Rotom? Typically, you want to start with Charmander. If you know you're going to be able to get more Charmanders on board, you don't want to give your Pokemon the 2-prizer to start. And then, like, Manaphy, obviously it's not a 2-prizer, but it being in the active makes it easier to clone, and if it takes a bench spot, right? If you open it and your opponent bosses around it, doesn't knock it out, then it fills a bench spot, so it's make your bench a little more awkward. So generally, I would say Charmander is the best starter, but if you know you're not gonna be able to get another Charizard out turn 1 and you don't want to lose your only Charmander, then that's when you would want to start like Manaphy, Fez, Rotom, something like that. But anyways, thank you everyone so much for watching. I'll post my link tree once more in the chat, and if anyone wants to find me on any of my socials, you can go to that link tree. It'll have links to all of my articles, all of my social media, and my coaching. So thank you for everyone so much for watching. Thank you for supporting the Shuffle Squad, and I will see you again on Friday.